Welcome back to AfroChess. I'm Zola, your host, as we unravel the beauty of African chess. Today we'll be looking at a game from the 2025 Kenya National Chess Championship with the white pieces Njoroge Martin, the 2021 champion, versus Brian Irungu. We kick off with the English opening, a specialty of Martin. Black developing his pieces as aggressively as possible. Knight to c6 and pawn to a3. Most players would just automatically castle here, but Njoroge showing some ambition early on, looking for queenside expansion. And pawn to e4. Okay, that knocks off white's pieces a bit, but after knight g5, there's a triple attack on the central pawn. What's the plan here? What's Irungu got for us? Well, he's got some nasty stuff for us. Bishop takes on f2. Now that is a disrespectful move. On move 7 in the most glorified tournament in Kenya, sacking a bishop next to the king. What's the point here? Well, after knight g4 check, you win back your piece and you've slightly weakened white's king. Materials equal, but from a practical standpoint, black has a slightly easier game because, his king is perfectly safe. Queen to e5 clamps the d4 square and prevents white from freeing his pieces so easily. Pawn to e3 prepares d4. f5 doesn't give him time for that. d6 developing. Bishop to f3 tries to put the king on g2. Pawn to d4. Queen f6 was a prophylactic move, not wanting d4 to come with tempo. We see king g2 preparing to bring out the rook. Black doing a nice job bringing all these pieces into the attack. A trade on f2 and f4. So that is a nice move. Point of f4 is a temporary sacrifice to rip open the slightly exposed king on f2. For example, if he takes with the e pawn, we'll see a trade on e1 and queen takes d4, winning back the material, and white's king is looking kind of shaky here. In the game, we got g takes f4, which grabs the pawn and doesn't give it back, but it does weaken the king significantly. Rook takes on f4. Now that is a nice move with a very simple idea of this rook is undefended because, white's back rank is quite underdeveloped. If you take, and this rook will be hit twice by the queen and the rook at the back. So we see bishop d2 defending the rook on e1. Now rook to g4. Whoa, he's not done. That's like the fourth sacrifice this game. This guy's on fire. The idea of rook g4 is if you blindly take my rook, well, you're in a whole world of pain after bishop takes g4. Most natural queen move is queen to c2 and bishop f3 locks the door on your king. There's a very straightforward idea here of checkmating you. Queen to f5 tries to evict the bishop, and now the engine suggests just taking the bishop. The attack is that bad. That's why you didn't see takes in the game. No one wants to be part of such a miniature. King sidestep to h1. The rook calmly drops back to g6. Now the way you win this with black, it's only plus 0.7, but you keep pieces on the board and you keep attacking. For example, rook to g1, you do not trade here. Rook to h8, best move. Rook to h6, best move. Keep pieces on the board and keep putting the pressure. We see rook g2 defending. White's pieces are scrambling here to try and keep the king safe. Rook to f8 attacks the bishop. Bishop moves to d5 with tempo. Queen to c2, trying to offer a queen trade through e4. Rook to f2, invading. We see a trade on f2. Queen to e4. Now do not take the bishop. It's never too late to burn down all your hard work, as there's a back rank on e8. Rook to f8 threatens rook f1 back rank. Queen d3 covers. Rook to g2 threatening bishop g2, smothering the king. Queen back to e4. And now black commits, forces the queen to sack itself for two pieces. He picks up another bishop. It's completely winning. All you have to do here is bring in the knight. Don't hang some weird back rank. That's why I played g6. Rook check, the king moves. Just bring in the knight and mate the white king. So all you have to do here, grabs a few pawns first, and the knight is making its journey to the king side. Now the mating procedure begins. Kings being dwindled off squares, and queen f3 ends the game in style. That was a beautiful one. Just wow. What a way to start the tournament. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be covering the rest of the games from the tournament. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching.